What's going on, guys? Coach Madden, YouGoProBaseball.com. We're here in Nolensville, Tennessee at the Hit Lab. I'm here with Casey Smith. We played together in the Padres organization, and the dude drops bombs. But what he's also known for, he's got a great Instagram account at Out Front Hitting, so check him out there. But he has a few really cool analogies that I want him to share with you guys when it comes to hitting. So let's talk about the first one, the airplane analogy.
Yeah, so a great analogy, especially for young hitters, to give them a visual of what we want to do with a barrel path, okay, and our plane through the swing. We want to think about if your bat was an airplane, okay? Obviously, as it's coming in for a landing, we want to make sure that it's going to enter the runway smooth and take back off smooth, okay? So the best way to think about it is if my bat starts up, right, I don't want the plane to crash land back here, right, and I'm not going to push that plane straight down here. I'm going to think about that plane coming in smoothly for that landing. So that's where it enters the zone at the front of the runway or deep in the zone, okay? And then as it works, it's gonna go down that runway and then smoothly take back off. And two other analogies that I think about is if they're going down the runway, we don't wanna wreck into the terminal over here, and I'm not gonna take off like a fighter jet or a rocket straight up. I'm gonna let that barrel unfold as that plane takes off down that runway so that we stay in the zone and on plane with the pitch as long as possible.
Now, before we get into the second analogy, which is the railroad track analogy, you tell me your perspective, but I think as coaches, for us, we're using these just to say something a little bit different. So if a guy not understanding something we're trying to tell him, this is like an easier way for him to grasp it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's my job as a coach to make whatever information I'm communicating as easily understandable as it is for the hitter. So I may think of something in one way and he may think of it something completely different. So analogies for me are an easier way to communicate complicated things in a swing so that a young player can understand it. And sometimes they sound funny, but if they're funny, hitters remember them. So like, don't be afraid to say something goofy if it makes sense to the kid. Like, that's all that matters.
If it works, it works.
Absolutely.
Now tell us about the railroad track analogy.
So a railroad track analogy, I think about it's for my body's direction. So I want to make sure that all of my energy is working back towards the middle of the field. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily hit the ball that way, but it's talking about holding direction both with my forward move and then as I fire, trying to make sure we're maintaining plate coverage and holding that body on the baseball. So many times I see hitters lose direction either with their stride or with their turn. They want to start weaving the zone this way. If I think about a train going down a railroad track, that's a lot of energy and it's going to hold that course no matter what. If I'm able to hold that line through my swing, now as my barrel works, if I hit it a little deep, it goes to right. If I catch it right here, it's going to center. If I catch it out front, it's going to left. But my body is keeping that same direction the whole time, and just the barrel angle and point of contact are going to change where the ball goes. But that's where I deliver all of my energy down those tracks, and I try to hold there as long as possible versus wanting to leave it and lose my energy and derail.
And the last one, the brakes and the gas pedal.
So this is one of my favorite things. So we talk about in the swing, we want to move fast. We want to move fast. So we think about that as the gas pedal. Okay, so if I'm in a car and I'm in a minivan and I slowly touch the accelerator, there's nothing violent, there's nothing explosive happening. I want to think about once I touch the ground, I'm a drag racer. I'm going to move fast. Well, just as important as the gas pedal is the brakes. So in order for all that energy to then get transferred to the barrel and then to the ball, we have to put the brakes on. So I want to move fast and I also want to stop fast. So if you think about a car with a crash test dummy in it, right? If you slowly step on the brakes, nothing happens. That body doesn't get ejected, all right? But if I go fast and stop fast, now all of that energy now gets transferred into my barrel. That crash test dummy is coming through the windshield, okay? So if we think about that, move fast, stop fast, instead of just move fast and keep going, now it allows me to go back to the railroad tracks. I'm going to hold that direction. All of my energy gets straight in the baseball.
And that's a lot to do with the front leg.
Absolutely. So that front leg, that front hip, we have to make sure it holds the ground, and that when that hip fires, it stops. So that hip stopping against that firm front side is then what allows all that energy to come up through my body and into the barrel. If I keep turning, right, or if I have that soft front side, now there's nothing there to go into the baseball.
That's awesome. And the way I think about it is that energy, you're creating that energy, the gas and then the brake, and then the energy is saying, where can I go out? It wants to go out. And if it can't go out this way, it's going to say, where can I let it go? And that, when if you time it good, if you have good timing, it's going to come through the hands.
Absolutely.
And have a good release.
And that's where we talk about effortless power. I want effortless power. So I want to feel like I'm not doing anything. So if I have great gas pedal, great brakes, now my upper body is just simply releasing that energy without me having to try to create it up here. If I don't use my lower half well, then now I'm having to try to create that power in my upper body, and that's where a lot of the swing problems come in.
And the last thing I want you to share with them, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but give some insight to a young player who wants to play professional baseball. What is one big thing that they need to focus on or have in their mind if they have aspirations to play at the highest level? Because you got to play, at the highest levels of baseball, drop bombs. You were a power hitter, man. I remember some of those balls that you were hitting. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. So what can you give to a younger player who has some of those aspirations?
So yeah, I actually talked with a group of my guys about this the other day. If you want to play at the highest level, practicing baseball has to be the most fun thing you do all the time. If you don't love practice and love the process that goes into the game, you're not ever going to play it at the highest level. You can love playing, but if you don't love the process and every day, like, all I want to do is I want to go hit, I want to go field ground balls, I want to work on this, you'll never play at the highest level. You may play, but at some point you have to love the grind just as much or more than you do playing in the actual game in order for you to be at the highest level. And I know for me as a player, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to go work on hitting. I wanted to go work on whatever because I loved it so much. And then the result was I got to play it at the highest level. If I just focus on the playing part of it and don't love the process, I'm never going to get there.
Now, I know I said that was the last thing. I got one more thing. Yeah, you say that you have to love it and you have to practice. Now, you were obviously naturally very talented. But did that just come naturally to you? Did you get in the gym maybe 3 times a week or to hit 3 times a week, 2 times a week? How much work did you actually have to put in to make your dreams a reality?
That was part of the learning process of like what it took. So I was talented as a young player. So I didn't have to work as hard to still be good. When I was 12, 13, 14, looking back, I wish I would have worked more, but I didn't know what I didn't know. Once I got into high school and college, it was every day that I was doing something to get better. It didn't necessarily mean I was in there hitting live BP, but I was doing tee work, I was doing mirror work, I was in the gym, but it was a 7-day-a-week thing. Something to help me get better, because if I feel like I missed a day, somebody else was working and then they got ahead of me. So I wanted to make sure every single day I was doing something to make myself better.
That's awesome, man. Taking no days off is huge. If that's your dream and that's your goal, you got to be willing to put in the work to accomplish that goal. If that's what you want, it's like making deposits in the bank. You can, when it's time to withdraw it, like if you want to get drafted or play professional baseball, you need to have put in enough money into your bank to make that withdrawal and get drafted, play professional baseball or whatever it is. So really cool stuff. Don't forget to go check out @Outfront Hitting on Instagram. Really good content over there. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below if you got any questions, and we'll see you later.